Hey guys, this is Sarah's Night,
And Lantis.
and we just decided to skip the trip from the caves to Junin. Suddenly I can't remember what the caves were called. I'm kind of ashamed of that. Didn't think it was necessary, but here we are at Harbor Town.
Harbor Town.
And
Is that Aerith as an old woman?
It does kind of... Yeah, it does kind of look like she's wearing the same getup.
Yeah, no, whatever.
Maybe
Sorry.
that is what she looked like. As...
You mean if she would become an old woman.
Aw.
Spoiler!
You do not have to remind us about the inevitable fact that poor Aerith dies. I switch between Aerith and Aerith subconsciously all the time.
Well, the funny thing is, it's like Aerith in the original Final Fantasy on the English translation. It's Aerith in Japan, and in the remake and Rebirth, they changed it back to Aerith. They changed it back for English, but it's always been Aerith in Japanese. So
I could swear at some point I heard that in English, they actually screwed that up in itself. They were intended for it to be Aries.
Aries?
And somehow messed up the I and the E placement. I don't remember where I heard that. It's probably not official.
Like the god of war Ares?
Yeah, and that's actually where, because I heard that, and also the fact that I read her name too quickly when I first played the game and thought it was saying Ares and not Eris. That's what I was thinking about when I named the goddess of nobility in Arcarith, because I actually did like that name for a girl, despite the fact that, it's the name of the god of war. I kind of like the irony of that, too, I guess. And then, way back then, we started doing Arcarith when we were 20, 21. You were like, hey, how come, because we actually named our characters after our IRL selves at that time. You're like, hey, how come you get the angel with the cat ears?
That just sounds like a great fake argument to have.
Yeah.
Oh.
Mr. Dolphin.
I do think it was a good change that we made for the game to try to
really
remove our.
It was so much work, and that's why. That's why at first I was like, ugh, it's a good idea, but I don't want to do that. And then finally, just one day, I just got this burst. I was like, we're doing it. Yeah. I'm willing to put in the work.
Oh, it was something we both had to do, and it was something we continue to have to do because you would always find places where it was the old names.
Yeah. And the more I thought about it over the years, I actually wished I'd gone with your name suggestions. The only one we agreed on was Dusk. As soon as you said, I was like, oh, that sounds like such a romanticized name. Of course, that's perfect for me. The guy who was, we modeled after myself. But I kind of wish, we went with, Leo over, or Leo was your...
Yeah.
You were leaning towards that, Neil leaning towards that over Lynn.
Yeah.
And I think I remember, I think it was pretty easy to poison Bottom Swell. I'm not gonna lie. For one thing, I forgot to heal up before coming into Junin.
Yeah, this might suck.
But I just saved, whatever.
Yeah.
But also, I never liked this fight solely on account of one thing. I just hate his name that much. Bottom Swell. I was like, what the hell kind of name is that? I know it's so stupid, but I can't get over it.
Yeah. And honestly, I don't care about which names we chose.
In fact, you know what? I am going to
throw.
Yeah. I do not like the thought of using ethers right now when I'm pretty sure I'd be able to do the fight fully healed without having to resort to using that, especially as much HP as you have.
Weak to win. We don't have Arrow yet, do we?
Yeah.
Cool. Well, you're not gonna have to wait long.
Here, let's just
miss.
Let's give Cloud and Tifa a little bit of hope that
All right,
I don't want them to
whenever
die.
Cloud pulls his sword back, those bolts that he has on his pauldron line up across his face to make it look like he has really thick eyebrows, like Rock Lee, and it's really funny.
I haven't noticed.
I keep noticing it. Whenever you do a limit break and he pulls the sword back, so the bolt on his pauldron just perfectly lines up.
No, SK, why are you making us die?
Please, you can stop this!
You have the power.
It doesn't have to end this way! You just have to try!
Oh, I thought you were about to say you just have to trust us. Believe in us.
Orc! Oh wait, doesn't she survive a fatal hit once? She does.
Yeah. Even though she pretty much got drowned very painfully and forcefully.
She
Considering
survived with the 1 HP. That single frame.
I always thought that was actually seemingly a little bit behind its time.
Yeah.
From the very beginning. The fact that they drop in one frame.
Did they do that in 8? I think they actually had
No, in 8, that's where they
had
really actually got pretty detailed
Yeah.
with the... Alright, so let's do a cure all. Let's take off. I think we only got one all materia.
Alright, who has our enemy skill?
Cloud.
Okay. I don't...
No,
It's
I didn't.
been so long since I've last played, I hardly remember who has skills to collect from for enemy skill. Like, the only ones I truly remember are, like, Trine and, like, Big Guard.
I think poison, that's going to be our main thing with Red. Keep applying poison till it sticks, even though it did do rather little damage from what I recall.
Like, original?
Tifa might be mostly... No, I'm talking about
Just now.
right now.
Okay.
Tifa might be pretty much healing duty, and
Laser.
I think we'll give her the summon materia for her to do in between healing and...
Well, I mean, that's a good way to eat through your MP and not be able to heal anymore.
I mean, she can only do Chakamog once anyway.
Oh.
And, like, even if we had the MP for it, we can literally only use it once until we level it
Yeah,
up.
that's true.
Oh,
yeah, that's duh.
And Cloud can be a healer, too.
It's funny, because in
I keep wanting to... I keep thinking save is at the very bottom, subconsciously.
Careful with that.
But anyway, like, talking about, like, actually kind of looking back on it, I kind of wish we'd gone with the names you were leaning towards for everybody but Dusk.
The names I picked, I wanted to specifically sound more, like, normal. Like, they're supposed to be normal college students, so one of them have somewhat...
one of them has the name Uri, so, like,
yeah.
it would be... But I think what kind of convinced me towards that was that I'm sure I told you about this once. It was maybe 2018, 2019. I had a dream where I was sitting in Grandma and Poppy's den, right? And I'm, like, writing out the story for Arc Aerith 2. Where it's like...
Boogaloo.
Yeah. Where, like, somehow, some way, it doesn't really make sense, but I did like that I somehow managed to make it sound epic. A generation later, like, 5 friends at school, one of them being the only girl, was named after her mama, Sarah. She's just Sarah, and for some reason she looked like
Sarah Jr.
No, I can't remember the name of the actress, but she was a guest star on a Married with Children episode, like, really cute. I can show you her after the LP, but she was in like an episode where she was like a college student. That's what she looked like. And the other 4 guys, we somehow didn't recognize. Like, it was the sons of each of us.
Okay.
Like Uri, Dusk, Lynn, and Harrison. And they had names like, if this was your name, this is what you would name your son. But it came from, like, came more from, like, Leo, Dusk, Neil, and Benjamin.
Yep.
Those 3 names you were leaning towards, apart from Dusk. And we eventually went with the ones I was leaning towards. And I kind of wish we'd lean towards yours, because it was like, our kids were called Lionel with Leo,
Yeah.
Billy, simply because my real name is Will
Yeah.
and not Dusk.
Yeah.
Ricardo, I'm not sure how that fit in with Neil, and Dwayne was Harrison / Benjamin. And it was like we were all friends with next generation Sarah at school, and none of us, it's like somehow none of us knew how we were connected to each other, even though our immediate parents, not like ancestors, this is only a generation later, our parents were world-saving heroes. We just realized, but it's just like we knew all our school days together, living normal lives, that we were destined for something great. We had a special connection, and that's how the story was starting out.
It could have been easy enough to like write that away. Like the parents decided that they don't want their kids to grow up with expectations of world-saving heroes, so they decided to just keep their past on the down low.
But how do they not know from like everybody else who knows, you know? But yeah, it's like we didn't realize that even a world had been saved before, much less by our very parents. But somehow we all ended up together as a tightly knit group of friends in school. We knew we were destined for something, we just didn't know what exactly, and that's how the story starts. Destiny calls again, and we gotta save the world together. I guess in that one, Dusk and Sarah didn't get married and have kids together. Like, Dusk had his own kid, Sarah had her own kid, and for some reason decided, she's so freaking arrogant, she has to, like, name her own kid, like, directly after her. I think there's something...
Did you see the eyebrows? Did you see them?
No. I just think there's something a little bit narcissistic about naming your kid your name Junior. I just... There's something about that I don't like, man.
Like, my dad was a junior, and I was going to be a Trey.
Well, I'm glad you weren't.
I mean, I was close. Like, my first name is actually James.
Right.
So my name is James House. My dad's name was James House, and my grandfather's name was James House. But my grandfather and father had the same middle name, and I ended up with a different middle name, so I avoided the Trey being the third.
This fight's a little tough considering... Even with poison on, it's gonna be a little bit... It's gonna take a while to drain all 7,500 HP.
There's eyebrows.
But yeah, I have good dreams like that about our character every now and then. I like it.
I don't. Really
I'm happy when I wake up from those.
I don't recall my dreams. I'm assuming I have them. I can't say that I just don't dream. I just don't remember them in the morning, ever. Period.
Doing this. Some magic to get him out of that. No, Sarah, I don't like it.
Laser.
Good, it hit. I mean, I just realized, no, we probably are going to have to use ethers because, I mean, if we can't normally attack, then we're going to be using magic the whole time. It's too far away.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. But it's still better that you at least start off with a full tank.
Yeah. God,
Oh, you've been fish slapped.
that's a fish slap. That is a fish slap.
That was what? Almost 800 damage.
Dang, bro. I would say this is probably the hardest boss we've encountered so far.
The elevator ride out of the Shinra building was the first one to like.
Oh yeah, we did. I did have a little trouble with that.
Oh.
God, I don't like that attack in the original when the stakes are much lower.
Miss? What do you mean miss?
When did we ever have a miss magic?
On magic. Like, that's one of the things we make fun of Final Fantasy Tactics Advance for. What? What's happening?
I don't know. But I don't like it.
But I don't like it.
Alright, let's get Team Ether.
Got many of those.
gonna have to
Ooh,
buy.
that's a lot of NP too. Nice. Nice cover.
It was good that it happened. Well, Cloud's dead. Crap. Oh.
And he's dead. Wait, that was a desperation attack?
Yeah, I forgot he does that.
So you didn't get any experience, but you still learned Clim Hazard. You learned Clim Hazard really fast. Don't forget to set it in the menu.
Don't have to.
Isn't that-
It's the same level.
Oh, that's okay. Gotcha.
You do CPR. It sounds like you know how to do it. I mean, the fact that this old man is teaching you shows that.
He can do it.
And why would you want a complete newbie to do it on the spot to save
Also,
her?
why are you training someone who's dying?
Yeah, Cloud is probably severely wounded right now. He's like, not in a shape to do this.
He likes
Bleeding internally right
he
now.
exhaled blood into her mouth.
Oh, I forgot. You gotta hold on to X nod.
Tap it, yeah.
I heard that you can't really lose this, at least in the original. Oh.
Huh?
Good, he decided to take away the stupid minigame segment. Good! I never liked it.
Interesting.
Yeah, but I heard that even if you do nothing but shallow breaths, you just gotta do more of them, you will eventually win the minigame. You can't lose
She,
it.
yeah, alright. Okay, new stuff.
We're selling the tranquilizers and hypers. I really do not want them.
Okay. Honestly, anything, this is how we make money, so...
Keep that for a rainy day. I remember I should have employed a few of those instead
Well,
of...
yeah, it's at the point where those are starting to get, out.
Well, it would have been perfect for the fight without having to use a
Oh, yeah!
Ether on Tifa because he's far away.
And you can throw grenades. It would have been a...
Carbon Bangle can kiss my ass. Never liked it.
Kiss my ass. Kiss my butt.
I'm guessing this might be a better gun for Vincent when I get him. Yeah. How much is it? Yeah, it's probably a pretty good weapon for him. We'll find out.
And if not, we hawk it. Easy.
I just like that term, hawk.
Yep.
Oh, wait. Chocobo Lure, how much does that sell for?
30,000? No, that's not Gil. Price through AP, price for Master.
Looks like it.
Yeah, no. Wow. Okay. Money. Choco Lure was...
I'm not doing Chocobo breeding.
Yeah.
I'm not doing the optional stuff. At least not on this playthrough.
What if there's new stuff in new threads tied to Chocobo breeding?
Well, I guess I'm screwed, aren't I?
The way you said it. Just a smart ass.
Okay, I remember. So we have to come into this old lady's house who lets us stay the night as thanks. You know, Cloud probably didn't give her pure oxygen, considering that he probably coughed some of his blood into her because internal bleeding right now.
Actually,
after the.
I mean, so I haven't been trained in CPR, but I understand the gist of it, right? But if you inhale, right, and you exhale that into somebody's lungs, that air is already consumed, right? Because when you exhale, it's no longer oxygen. It's oxygen that you have utilized, right? So, how...
You know, I never even thought about that. My guess is it still works because it's not entirely like carbon dioxide. Not all of it has been converted. And as long as there is some oxygen content, it's going to be beneficial. Can't believe I never even pondered that before. I think, for once, I actually like this version of this track better than the original.
Yeah?
I really like the echo effect we got here.
When I'm like judging the music, I'm trying to look at it with an open mind, because I feel like I'm going to be heavily biased towards the original just because I'm like so familiar and I like it so much. So I'm trying to give like some wiggle room. Like, we were listening while we were just, kind of jack-jawing. We were listening to the overall theme, and I mean, this version sounded amazing. Like, it did it justice.
Now that I think about this, is actually such obvious foreshadowing, and I didn't even think about how it was foreshadowing even after learning the plot later about why Cloud would ask her that question. What about the unnamed troopers that were with us during...
Yeah. It's because one of them at least did have a name. It was Cloud Strife.
I always love Rufus's parade theme.
Oh man, you should see what they do in Rebirth for it.
I might play it someday.
There's a little girl, you just put like the tiniest puff of air. You're like...
And again, probably half of it was blood.
Blood and carbon monoxide.
Considering that, I was at 0 HP. Which I think at the very minimum means that you're not in good shape. Not good enough to fight anyway.
Well, it's knocked out status. When you have 0 HP, you are knocked out. You are unconscious. You are not dead. Dead is getting ran through with a giant sword.
It was able to kill Eris at that point in the game. How much HP could Tifa have possibly had 5 years ago, even as one of Zeppet's best martial arts students? And she took what looked like a pretty solid slash across her chest from the Masamune.
Yeah.
Or Murasame, or whichever one it was called.
Masamune, I believe.
And when you play as Sephiroth in the flashback, it does 3,000 points of damage to a dragon, who probably naturally has higher defense stats than
because he's a dragon,
than a 15-year-old girl,
and he's got dragon scales.
And Tifa survived that just fine. That must have been the clumsiest slash that Sephiroth ever swung with his sword.
Well, he was emotionally compromised. He just found out he was a test tube baby.
Obviously not too compromised that, to screw up setting an entire town on fire.
Yeah,
and personally,
he did it because he was emotionally compromised.
And personally killing. You saw him instantly kill, either those were two random townsfolk or they were actually Tifa's parents. Where you see him, strike down two people instantly with his sword.
Well, I mean...
And, in Tifa's was in slow motion, which gives you the impression, it's cutting deeper, it's a little more impactful, and you actually hear... And she goes flying 5 feet in air, then bounces down a couple of steps on her head.
You know what gets me about Aerith's death? That's
actually, right quick, I just realized something.
Yeah.
Priscilla's still wearing her swimsuit from last night. She didn't change. Nobody thought to change her to especially to get her out of cold. While she's recovering.
Video
dry
game.
her.
Didn't make another model.
Yeah. Dry her off, that kind of thing. I mean, that's what you do when you rescue somebody from a watery environment, a pool, the ocean of some sort. You change clothes, or at least give them a towel and wrap them up tight. Anyway, you were saying
I was
something about Ares.
The one thing, the difference between the strike. Oh.
I don't have the money for that.
Or
right?
don't. Make your own damn decisions.
I kind of like that.
That was good. All right. But when it comes to both of them getting, stabbed or slashed with the Masamune, what got me with Eris's back in the day was the way, you know, she gets stabbed and then she kind of bobs down like this. But after she bobs, her like eyes dilate and widen. It's like out at, like as the muscles are relaxing in her body as she's like dying. And I don't know, that just like that attention to detail got me a different way.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Like her eyes kind
I was
of
like, oh no, like she didn't even die instantly. She's really kind of feeling it.
Yeah.
She and like the life is being sucked
You're
out of
watching her
at her-
slowly pass.
and she knows it, and there's nothing she can do about it.
Yeah.
Like an immediate Cure 3 probably isn't going to fix that.
So,
Do you even know Cure 3? Well, I guess if you level up your materia.
yeah, I mean, if you have Cure, you can get Cure 3.
Would you naturally know Cure 3 by the
Naturally,
time?
probably not. I mean, and there would be no point because, like, Cure 2, at that point in the game, it should still fill you pretty much to full.
I don't know why, but I've like, I thought of that like sexually, like fill you up.
Yeah.
You know,
Like with cum!
a particular substance.
As
that-
Phil was doing this gesture,
Yeah,
like, he was like,
that is akin to life giving, in some way or
so
another.
I just thought I'd just be the blunt one there. So another interesting thing about
With baby making man batter.
baby making man batter. Another interesting thing about like Dungeons and Dragons when it comes to like RPG mechanics, right? There's actually rules in place that aren't in RPGs for obvious reasons, because you can't have like characters permanently die in an RPG like that. But like in D&D, if you take damage and you go to 0, you fall unconscious, right? And there are rules that you make death saving throws. It's like, while you're unconscious, you will either die from your wounds or you won't die from your wounds, right? And you make death saving throws. And if you survive, there's like a recovery period or whatever, or if you're healed, you can get up, right? But there's another rule that if you, when you hit 0 HP, depending on how much damage you took when you hit 0,
Yeah,
if it's too much, you immediately die.
I mean that makes sense. I do like. Oh, I electrocuted myself.
So, like, when you're talking about Eris or Tifa taking like 3,000 damage, and you know you just go to like it could be 9,999 damage, and you're still just gonna go to 0 and drop. In Dungeons and Dragons, if you take an excess that's like equal to your maximum HP and damage past 0, you just die.
And that makes sense. It's like taking that heavy hit. You're like, no, you can't.
You don't.
You can't, like, justify just getting knocked out from that. Or-
That's like the narrative would be like you get your head lopped off. Like
Yeah.
you don't survive that.
Which I think, like, considering, I can't imagine Tifa being stronger than like 100 HP at that time. And I saw the sword earlier in the same flashback do 3,000 points of damage to a dragon. The same kind of hit, a slash across the body of the opponent. So I can't help but think of that as like instantly just bisecting her with no resistance whatsoever. Like even the spine, he didn't even really have to like grind into the spine a little bit to cut past that. No, it was just shing, 2 people.
You having trouble?
2 halves. Yeah, always have. You need to. There's something about doing this like just right position.
Oh. Hoppa. Nope.
And sometimes he just doesn't do a high enough jump. Anyway, keep talking while I do this. Find something.
Okay. Let's see. Yeah. Also, just since we're good job. Since we're talking about it, and just for the people that are like hurt, why don't you just use the Phoenix Down, right? Just a reminder, Phoenix Down cure unconsciousness. It cures the status effect that is basically KO status. It doesn't cure death. And it, like, if you think about it for a second, like, if you had an item in the game that could cure death no one would ever die in the world. There would be no death.
Only like the most poor people who couldn't afford anything.
Oh, yeah.
Whatever.
Well, yeah.
And that's only if you just somehow manage to not find any kind of good Samaritan rich person to be willing to
Those
give
don't exist, even in reality. Whatever.
That's cynical.
Well, it may be cynical, but it is also true. Because here, let me tell you something. Jeff Bezos or Elon Musk could pay to have houses in America to house every single person in this country, and they would still have enough money that they could not spend it before they died.
Okay, I find that hard to believe. Somebody would have really had to analyze that. That sounds like more just a like frenzied opinion piece about how much you despise them for being that rich.
Maybe, but all right. Let's for argument's sake and me not having to pull up Google and like look up numbers, right? Let's say that isn't necessarily true, right? But if
Bro, you hitting on me? Anyway.
But I find it odd that there's not a single billionaire out there that hasn't at least tried to tackle the problems that we have in this country. Like, are they required to? No, but I feel like if there was such a thing as a Good Samaritan billionaire, we would have seen one by now.
Well, I know Keanu Reeves isn't a billionaire, but I assume being like one of the biggest, names in acting of all time. I've heard like that dude actually lives like total middle class and gives the rest to charitable causes. Or anybody like, have you not heard stories about?
I hear that Keanu Reeves is an excellent dude. Yes, I've heard that he is a great fellow, but like.
And I'm sure he has at least millions, just not billions.
Hold on. I've got to look. How much would it cost to house every American? If we adjusted for cost per inflation to December 2023 prices, it would come out to about $46,000 per person in current dollars. This means the cost of house every homeless person in the United States, using this estimate of the cost to provide shelter for federal inmates, would be about $30 billion. All right.
He does have more than 30 billion, I assume.
30 billion. We're about to find out. How much money does Jeff Bezos have? He is worth $187 billion. So he would still have well over $100 billion after having housed every homeless person in the country. How much money
Wood could a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood?
Elon Musk? Oh, wow. I did not realize he was that much more richer than Jeff Bezos.
Really?
Yeah, $226 billion. And then
Okay, you can like buy entire countries with that money.
Then there's Bernard Arnault, who has $175 billion. There's still so many other rich people. I don't even know who Bernard Arnault is. I've never heard of that name. But and that's what I'm trying to say is, if there was such a thing as like a good billionaire, wouldn't one of them or maybe do you think? Imagine if all of them came together and just put a small percentage of their wealth together. What if they just paid their due taxes?
What if I just got paid 3 ethers for being a screw up on national television? Because I did.
Oh, did I miss it?
Yeah, that's why I went just now.
Gotcha. Did you do it on purpose just to get it over faster?
No, it's just like you can't do that parade perfectly. You stand out looking like an idiot. But I guess the less you do it,
yeah,
you get a better.
In Rebirth, there was actually like a rhythm-based minigame, and you actually got to pick from different like military displays.
Cool.
And like you actually had to even recruit who was going to perform with you. Like you found different like military groups, and you're like, all right, I want the shock troopers and the guards over here, and we want to do the Shiva layout, then the Ramu.
Actually, it looked like Heidegger was the. Wow, I forgot about that part. Sephiroth came here too and just killed some soldiers for the shit of it.
I mean, sometimes you just gotta kill some shoulders.
Well, Heidegger tried to kill mine just now. I forgot that he just walks up specifically to you while you're in uniform and just starts really punching at your shoulder.
Ow! Stop! It's annoying and it kind of hurts. You know what's also hard to say?
What?
Irish.
Why?
Irish wristwatch.
Irish wristwatch? Okay, I guess I could. Oh, yeah, I forgot. I think I get an extra gift from, like, almost like Heidegger's mocking me if I do good enough during the send-off thingamabob.
Left. Oh, left stick left stick right. So left, right. Okay.
Alright. Whoops.
Oh, this is not gonna go great, is it? That was a right turn.
That was the left turn. No, not yet, sir. Okay, I got Y right.
That's right. There you go.
Okay, this time I didn't. All right, I think I can do this.
Okay.
I actually don't want to do 100% because, well, the gifts probably aren't the same actually in this version.
Yeah,
but
that might be something different.
like the next best gift, like I think if you get like 80% or something on Rufus's mood, you get HP plus materia.
Oh, really?
And 100% is you get like 4 slots armor. And I don't know, I just always went for HP plus. Just like that more.
Well, I just feel like in a hard mode, that's going to be more useful. Assuming the rewards have not been altered. And pray I do not alter them further.
Did you ever see that Robot Chicken sketch where they do that scene, pray I do not alter the deal any further?
Yeah.
It's like Darth Vader just starts asking him to like do all sorts of crazy stuff, like, furthermore, you will ride this unicycle everywhere you go. It's like, what? No, we never got. I have altered the deal.
Pray I do not alter it further.
He goes into an elevator and what's the character's name? I always picture his face. I never remember his name.
What are you talking about? Tarkin?
I think that's it. And he's like, this deal is getting worse all the time. And then Darth Vader like hears him, comes back out, and adds on something else too.
Something
Like,
stupid.
yeah, you will also like wear this clown wig everywhere you go. What? That wasn't part of the I have altered the deal. Well, you know what? Screw you, man. I'm not doing it. I have altered the deal. And then finally he catches on. He's like, this deal is... It's a very fair deal, and I'm happy to be a part of it. And then he like gets close to the elevator, like listens for Darth Vader to come back. Oh yeah, I forgot. Rude's hanging out with like the coffee poetry boys.
This is also in the remake. They have like except it's like a bald-headed club. Which, looking at this, I believe everybody's also bald here too.
Yeah. Rude makes his baldness look cool, though.
I mean, he makes his everything look cool.
True. I just love that, like, a real change in mood. In FF7, I don't know. You can tell me if they have it in Rebirth, but where you like go to Gongaga, whatever Zach's
Gongaga, yeah, it's Gongaga.
Whatever Zach's village was called, and before you get into a fight with Reno and Rude, you like eavesdrop on them having a conversation, and Reno, like, they're talking like they're in junior high. Hey Rude, who do you like? Rude's like, actually embarrassed to say, this guy who's probably like killed a bunch of people with his bare hands. It's just weird. And Reno's like, come on, man, tell me, who do you like? He's like, Tifa. What? Oh man, but poor Lena. I mean, like, I thought y'all were together. And he's like, nah, bro, she like has a crush on Sing. Oh, really? Well, still too bad for her, because I heard Sin likes that Eris chick.
I don't think that was in remake, or at least if it was, I missed it.
And it's like, I don't know, I actually figured, like, if you had Tifa in the party, she'd say something about that, like, I don't know, like, ew, like, one of the enemy has, like, a villainous crush on me, you know?
I think it's funny, because
if I could see her doing a Valley Girl thing.
Yeah, I think that Rude likes Tifa just because they both have the same preference in melee combat.
Maybe that's it.
Yeah.
Well, that, and she's Tifa.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but...
Also, she's Tifa.
If you don't like Tifa, I don't even care what your preference on... I know it's all about her tits, whatever. I don't even care what your preference is on that. She's still got everything, as far as I'm concerned.
No, she is such... I feel like she's such a, like, a patient, like, person to, like, put up, like, even knowing... Like, the second that Cloud falls to his Mako poisoning finally, like, she is there.
Yeah.
She is there to go through it with them, and that's fucking real, dude.
It was. Really was. You know, I never really thought about that specific...
Like, she's sitting there pushing him around in his wheelchair and everything, and then helping him put his mind back together. That is some OG shit, brother.
That's
you
the kind
put
of...
a ring on that.
Yes, you do. I like how you're wording this. I like how strongly you seem to feel about it. Oh, hey, it's the other Tarks.
Yeah, it's the rest.
But they're like, you know what? I don't feel like... Oh, well, actually, I don't recognize us right now because I'm dressed as a soldier. I figured, like, if nothing else, Reno would be able to, like, just smell me. Just like, I smell spiky blonde-haired jackass on you.
I think I smell a bitch.
Just for the fact that, you know, we fought before, and he's probably still pretty bitter about the fact that we beat him. I just love this music.
It's good. And this version of it's pretty good, too. Like, it's...
You know, when I read, and this was one of those things where I knew it was going to suck, but I wanted to see just how far, and also to, like, because I'm actually pretty much against, like, the generally popular view of, like, what Revelation means right now. Mm-hmm. The Left Behind-ish view. I saw like a dude like do a blog where he went over in pretty exquisite detail. Like in fact, his criticisms were easily as long as each of the books themselves, and he got to like the third of 13 books over the course. It took him like 2 or 3 years. Like that's how long they were and how much he hated them, and he was a Christian too. Like he had no problem criticizing his own, which I'm down with.
That's good.
Like I think that gives like a non-biased perspective. Of course, you know, probably other Christians who take that view would then accuse him, oh, well, then you're just a pretender. You know, you actually secretly hate Christianity or whatever. But, and I like, he stopped finally about halfway through the third book, and I was like, I need to see the rest of this. And so I like,
you picked up where he left off.
This was in the last few.
Is that an item on the chair? Yeah,
thank you.
Was.
This, like, I had so much downtime at work my last few months there. Even after like constantly going around and helping other people, there was still so little left for me. I managed to like pretty much skimming, not really, you know, reading and taking it in, but I definitely got the gist. And a few moments definitely stood out to me as just like maddeningly bad. So I got through like, I found like them free for download. I definitely wasn't gonna spend money.
Yeah, absolutely not. Just point your gun at him. Just point your gun right at him.
Oh, whoops! I wasn't paying attention.
Oh, you gotta go.
Okay, here we go.
Yeah, well, there you go. You got your 80% if you get everything else right.
Probably. Not quite in sync. All right, didn't get my directions confused. That's good. I'm actually seriously trying here. I'm focused.
But you just want to get to 80, right?
Actually, I really don't care in this because again, they're probably going to be different rewards. Whoops.
No.
I think Heidegger's laughing at me.
Yeah. Oh no. No.
Oh god.
No.
Wait, the president is amused, apparently. I can see him as being the kind of person to kill me.
Look at you, you're still facing the wrong way.
I can't go back. I tried.
Well done.
Dude, are you serious? Like, you saw me screw up at the end there. What is with the way Heidegger is walking? You know what? This is good. I'm like, kind of giving him lip by like refusing. I'm refusing to even look at this dude.
Yeah.
You know what? Good, because I think Heidegger's a little bitch.
That's because, no, you're wrong. He is a big bitch.
It's true. So yeah, dude. Oh man, I could tell you so many stories about the things that piss me off. I'm like, okay, and I've heard, I've seen it, like I've seen several different reviews of these books, and I see it in the writing. I think the writers. I'm not gonna do this judgment thing like, oh, well, they're not real Christians, but I do think they have a terrible attitude about a lot of things, and you can see that this is what they really believe, and seems to be the way that they think Christians should act, especially in the end times, according to their particular denominational beliefs. And like just reading through those last 10 books that the blogger that I talked about didn't get to because he was taking so long with the first 3, like I'm just like shaking my head like, whew. But it's like I have to finish because there's something about leaving off and being pissed off about what bit I did read.
And now you know why I finished Final Fantasy 13.
Oh, I do. I totally understand. I'm gonna say I think this was actually more deplorable than FF13.
I believe it.
Because you can tell, much like with me and Dusk, and I'm not gonna try to be coy about it. Like the 2 main characters are the 2 authors' self-inserts, and I'm like, but they're not good people.
Right.
So why would you want to? Is this how you believe, like, Christians should behave? I can tell you so much about what goes on in these books, dude. Specific moments. I tell you.
I mean, I can tell you, if you want to give an example, you're more than welcome to, but I believe you.
I fear, like, my gameplay is really going to suffer if I start getting into this, like...
Did we sell all of our trinket? Oh, no.
Yeah, I think we did, my bad.
And maybe there's one in that treasure chest back there.
Oh, I forgot. That was Yuffie, and we called her Yuff.
Yuff. That's an ether. Well, hope it sucks, Yuff.
I guess kind of like a cute pet shorthand name, like called Tifa Tiff. I don't think Eris. I don't think Air really.
Air.
I don't think that really works. Or Clo for Cloud. Yo, Bar for Barrett.
Bar. Oh, hey, there's materia right there next to UV.
Oh, we have to wait till she's out of the way when the soldiers start searching through the ship and killing anything that moves because they heard that Sephiroth's on board.
Because that's what good guys do.
Well, I mean, I think from the soldiers' perspective, they are kind of being the good guys here.
Yeah,
I mean, a much worse villain is showing up and slaughtering everybody. They don't know who you are.
Well, I mean, to more solidify that, I believe that most of the people in Shinra think they are doing the right thing. They're doing a good thing. Just what they're told.
Is that supposed to be a sex joke?
Maybe. Yes, drink that sea, man.
Oh, the dude's just trying to do his job.
I
always had trouble going up this
No
ladder.
uppies.
There we go.
There you go.
You can't be pressing on a direction when you press X to latch onto it.
Red over there trying to be human.
Yeah, how is nobody noticing this and highly suspicious?
Oh man, I really they really did. Rebirth. I'm sorry I keep bringing up Rebirth, but they really did an interesting take on this part.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Well, tell me about it.
So they introduced a card game into Final Fantasy VII. You know.
Yeah, I heard.
And it's because like DSP didn't he like quit because of it or something?
Because people said it was boring because he was spending so much time on it.
No, it's a fun card game. I like it.
Well, see, he was doing it and failing at it though.
Oh.
Spending so much time that it bored people looking at it.
Yeah. But so to pass the time on the boat ride, the boat was hosting a card tournament with that game, and all the party members join, as well as a bunch of NPCs and characters from the previous game, and you actually participate in a card tournament, and you get to pick your opponents, and you can't fight everybody, but because if the people you don't pick, they fight each other until it gets to the end, and Cloud can win the tournament, right?
Right.
But earlier, Red tries to join, but despite the fact he is a intelligent speaking creature, they told him that dogs cannot participate, and he's like, I want to talk to the manager. But
I actually see Red being a Karen.
Yeah, he was being a Karen, right? So after you win the tournament, you're challenged by an unknown entrant, right? And it turns out to be Red in the soldier uniform, and
of course he can't walk right.
Yeah, he's got his paws up like this. He can't hold them like a normal human. And it's just goofy how he tries to pretend to be human. And it's funny. He's sitting there, like, trying to act human, and He's like thinking he's doing a good job, but he makes this little kid cry because of how bad it was. He's like, "Yeah, I'm so good." And you hear, and this little mom's like, "It's okay, honey."
Shoot, maybe I'll play this game just to see tidbits like that. And of course, I'm not going to pretend to be too good for it. I would love a scene with Tifa and Aerith in a bikini. I've always had a high fondness for.
It's a bikini that you get to choose. You get to assemble like the top and bottom.
Okay, I might feel a little gross about that.
Well,
though.
it's not
like the interaction is just a little bit too.
It's not necessarily a dress up like that. It's like you get rewards for doing all the mini games in Costa Rica.
Well, that's what I figured. Yeah. And dude, that's like the reason I never bought as much as I love me some DOA girls. I mean, come on. Hitomi always my OG. But Kasumi and Lafong and the others, you know, I've been pretty much fond of every DOA girl for obvious reasons. They're cute, and yes, they are quite bodacious. But I was never going to buy or even play, even if I had the opportunity to for free, to play any of those extreme volleyball games.
Yeah, no.
Because there's just something, I cringe at the thought of like, I'm personally doing all this to like dress them up the way I want and then have them pole dance. Just the thought of
all right, I will say
thinking
like,
about it that way just made me not, you know.
Tifa and Aerith don't do anything provocative in the swimsuits. They just wear them during the next couple of cutscenes. They're not pole dancing. They're not doing a strip tease. They're just being girls at the beach.
I mean, cool, but the fact that I'm like making it happen, I guess, by choosing, you know.
Honestly, I didn't even think anything about it.
I mean, that's cool if you did. I'm just saying, like, how I couldn't really help but think.
Yeah.
I
know how you are because, like, especially when it comes to, like, how an attack lands on a person and how much damage it does, and if they would survive that attack or not. Like, you're very, like, literal about how...
Yes, I'm quite analytical about that.
It's like, it's an RPG, man.
Let's see, what all we got for better defense than bronze amulet, but defense percentage, like, I guess that's being able to dodge.
Your dodge chance is 0.
But at the same time, if it was only 5 in the first place, yet my defense goes up by like 25%.
Actually, I don't know what the difference is between attack and attack percent.
I figured attack percent is like your chance of hitting.
105% chance?
Which just means it's obviously 100, but if it does go down for any reason, you have like a, you know, greater number.
Final Fantasy VII difference between attack and attack percent.
Yeah.
It's the accuracy.
But again, like I said, it's 105 so that you have a greater number to start from if you ever like equip anything or just some other factor causes it to go down. You might still end up at 100 instead of, say, 95, which if it topped off at... Which is cool. Well, we're gonna see what Yuff can do for us. Got better weapons now. So our best is atomic.
Okay. So attack percent isn't actually percentage, right? The max the stat can be is 255%, and even at 255%, death blow can still miss. So
well, that's because it sucks. There was never any secret of that.
So, but regardless, you're right. Attack percent is your accuracy, and defense percent is your dodge chance. But just know that the number isn't like 1-to-1. 100% attack does not mean you're always going to hit, and 100% defense percent. Ugh, that sounded weird. Doesn't mean you're going to always dodge.
Yeah, it did a little bit, actually.
Yeah, well, I mean, it was right. It was just sounded weird.
Oh, good. When we get tired of Choco Mog, we can sell that.
For like 30 thou?
It's alright, Master, because we're not... Aha, that's actually a disadvantage. We can't use it more than one time no matter what. He actually reduced the number of levels to 1.
Oh, do you think that's all summons? Like, there's a global...
Yep. Obviously,
the next
one we got is interesting.
Interesting. So even if you spent the time to get Knights of the Round, you could only ever use it once in a fight. But that also means that all summons that we run across are immediately mastered and immediately can be turned into a lot of money.
Yeah, that's obviously more than going to make up for not...
Oh, shit. You know what that also means? Since they're mastered when you get them, they can't be leveled up and birthed a new one. So, like, that's the only one you're ever going to have.
Oh, I knew that. I mean, but after a while, I'm not going to want to take up space with Choco Mog anymore anyway.
Right. I'm just saying, like, if... Like, you can master something, sell it, and still have that thing just back at level 1, right? But since you can't rebirth materia, or at least you can't rebirth summoning materia because you receive it already mastered...
Okay, there's my restore. I was like, where the hell did you go? Unfortunately, right now, we only got one all materia. We really need more. Or it'd certainly be useful. Well, I can throw some old weapons, and honestly, now that I know I can sell pretty much all my summons materia for money, I don't mind using a few of the old weapons we got in this fight if we have to.
And don't forget, you still have grenades and items that you can use.
Oh yeah, we need to do some added steel. I think Quake might be... Quake might be good for that. No? Yes! I do that to myself at home all the time.
Yeah,
and like at work,
yeah.
Every time I screw up something at work, I'm like...
Dude, I
like
myself.
pipetting into Flask, and I'm like, the wrong one. No. And then go over to the next one. Yes!
You can ask Rachel. I'm talking to myself constantly.
Oh, to next level, 5,000. I was thinking, wait, to next level is 550. No, that's what I got so far.
You know what? I want us to master a materia because I'm curious if maybe the mod even turned off birthing.
Might be.
Birthing.
Might be. Right now, sorry, that laser's not doing it.
Final Fantasy VII enemy skill list. I'm just gonna look it up.
We're definitely gonna save that, so we don't have to do that again.
Just know when we're gonna have that, because it doesn't matter. Enemy skill doesn't get